reflection on Genesis 1:14 to 19 from the Bible Diary. Today we're jumping into one of the most puzzling parts of the entire creation story, the fourth day. It's a passage that, when you first read it, seems to defy, well, basic logic.
All right, let's just dive right in, because this is a big one. It's an apparent contradiction that has stumped people for, well, forever. You've got light, darkness, day, and night, all separated on the very first day. But then the sun and the moon, the things we think of as causing day and night, they don't even show up until day 4. It honestly feels like a major plot hole in one of the most famous stories ever told, right?
Now, the easy way out here is to just shrug and say, well, the ancient writers just didn't know that light comes from the sun. But you know what? That really sells them short. These were people who lived way closer to the rhythms of nature than we do. The real key isn't to question their intelligence, it's to ask, why is the story intentionally written this specific way? Because when we start asking that question, what we find is a message that is, wow, just profound and truly revolutionary.
And to solve this puzzle, we don't actually need modern science. Nope, we just need to look a little closer at the text itself. It's almost like the author left clues for us. So let's start by exploring 3 very specific and honestly kind of strange details in this passage. Okay, so these 3 observations might seem a little random at first, but trust me, they're the absolute keys that, when you put them together, unlock the whole thing. First, like we said, light exists before the things that are supposed to bear the light. Second, the text is super careful to never call them sun and moon. Instead, it's the great light and the small light. And third, their main job description isn't even to shine, it's to mark time. These aren't mistakes, folks, these are signals. And those signals, they're all pointing to a really radical idea. A direct challenge to the beliefs of the entire ancient world. The author here isn't making a scientific boo-boo. They're making a powerful, powerful theological statement. See, you have to remember, for nearly every single culture surrounding ancient Israel, we're talking the Egyptians, the Babylonians, the Canaanites, the sun wasn't just a big ball of gas in the sky. It was a deity of immense power. Ra, Shamash, Baal. Life itself depended on the favor of these sun gods. They were worshipped, they were feared, and they were seen as the ultimate sources of power and life. And this is where we see the absolute heart of the revolutionary statement Genesis is making. While all these neighboring cultures are bowing down to the sun as a god, Genesis just completely deflates that. It presents the sun as a mere object, a thing that was made. It's not a deity you have to worship, it's just a tool with a specific job placed in the sky by the one true God.
So what this part of the creation story is doing, it isn't trying to be a science report. Not at all. It's a polemic, which is basically a direct, forceful argument against the pagan beliefs of the time. It is, in a way, a declaration of cosmic independence. And this is so clever. The choice to not even use the actual names sun and moon was absolutely deliberate. In the ancient world, those very words were often tied to the names of gods. So instead, the author just calls them the great light and the lesser light, basically demoting them from powerful deities to simple lamps hung in the sky by the creator.
And this brings us right back to our original puzzle, and it's summed up so perfectly here. Having 3 full days of light and dark before the sun even exists masterfully drives the point home. It's a declaration. God alone is the source of light. He doesn't need the sun. He chose to create it and give this object a specific task, but he is not in any way dependent on it. Okay, so if these lights aren't gods and their main purpose isn't even creating light, since, that already existed, then what exactly is their job? What are they for? The text is actually very, very clear about their function. They're here to bring order and structure to human life. You can think of them as a giant celestial clock. First, they distinguish day from night. Check. Then, they serve as signs to mark sacred times and festivals. And finally, they allow us to measure the passing of days and years.
And this wasn't just some abstract idea. For an agricultural society, knowing the seasons for planting and harvesting was literally a matter of survival. And for the people of Israel, their entire religious life was built around a calendar of festivals commanded by God. This reliable, universal clock in the sky set the rhythm for both their work and their worship. And it really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? This ancient focus on divinely ordered time, it kind of invites us to reflect a little.
Why was this structure of sacred time so important to God? And maybe more for us, in our modern world of smartphones and chaotic schedules, what is our own relationship with time? How we mark it, how we use it? What does that say about what we truly value? Oh, and it's also incredibly telling how the stars are treated here. The text says, God made the great light and the lesser light. And then, almost like a footnote, it says, and he made the stars also. And that's it. The countless stars which so many other cultures worshipped or used for telling the future are just there. It's another brilliant polemic, another demotion of a supposed divine power. So, when we put all of these pieces together, what's the big picture? What are we really supposed to take away from this ancient, powerful account? Look, the goal of the fourth day was never to be a scientific explanation of how the solar system formed. It's a profound theological statement. It is a declaration that the God of Israel is the one sovereign creator, and that everything else in the cosmos, including the sun, the moon, and the stars that other nations worshipped as gods, are merely his creations serving his purposes. And so ultimately, the text kind of presents us with a choice in how we read it. We can get hung up on the scientific sequence and miss the point, or we can see it for what it's truly intended to be, a powerful story about meaning, purpose, and our place in a universe that's governed not by chaotic celestial deities, but by a single, purposeful creator. For more details and to explore the sources, you'll find the link to the original German blog post in the description. And hey, if you're interested in more Bible reflections like this one, feel free to subscribe to the channel.